They're tough days, and you put yourself through it because you know, as you just said there, you're doing something good. I think that gives me the motivation to make sure I do something to try and make a difference. It's about making sure we have the right people working in the right way. I think we need to shout from the rooftops how great this industry really is. It's an industry, as I said, 40 odd years in it now, and I've loved every moment of it, and it's gone like that. We as a collective understand what our clients want, delivering the same way with the same purpose.
The industry still needs good people, great people.
For sure.
Everyone's got gifts.
And that's what I love about the building industry. Nothing really changes, but everything changes.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Specialist View podcast. This is something that over the next number of months we would like to interview at least 10 industry leaders from the point of view of innovation, from the point of view of skill shortages, how we make things better on our moves towards a more sustainable world, how can we help advance the sustainability and commitments that our businesses have made and our governments have made, and what's our role within that. And it's about how can we learn from each other. So I'm hopeful that over the course of this podcast and the next 8 or 9 to come, that we will all have learned many, many things about our industry and about our world and the people and the place in which we live. And hopefully that can be used to develop the next generation. So welcome to our podcast, delivered to you by Specialist Group. So I'm blessed here today to be joined by Dave Duffy, Contracts Manager with Overbury. Dave's been over the last few days here at HQ to understand what we do as a business, and it's become very apparent that we're very aligned in how we look after our people, our communities, how we aspire to advance in the future, how we aspire to pass on our knowledge to the next generation. So Dave and his team, one of the things that clicked amazingly was Dave and his team have raised almost 300,000 for charity this year already, and we're only 6 months in. That is a phenomenal amount of money. Like 300,000 multiplied by 3, we're nearly at $1 million. That's a phenomenal figure to go to almost 10 different charities for people less fortunate than ourselves. And they've done that by their charity quiz night, their charity bike cycle between Belfast and Cork, which they got some amazing weather here in Ireland for. If you want to come back anytime soon, you'd be very welcome. So at this point, I think we'll just rock on into it, Dave, and let's hear a little bit about you and your story. Before we begin, I'll give you a little background on Dave. Dave has had many years working with Overbury Plc and a number of others.
I have, yeah.
You're senior project manager with the business?
Now?
Yeah.
I'm contracts manager.
Oh, you're contracts manager.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave.
No, that's quite
get the titles wrong here.
Yeah.
Call me anything only early in the morning is my statement. So what does your role entail today, Dave?
All right, so a little bit of background. I mean, I've been in the industry now for almost 42 years. Come January, started as a carpenter and joiner. I was on the tools for the best part of 20 years, and I've been doing fit out since, working for a few companies. But for the last 10 years, at Overbury, major projects. So I rejoined in 2014 as a senior project manager, which is probably where you remember me from. But then fortunately got that jump to contracts manager, and the way Overbury major projects is set up now, we've got 5 teams, and myself and my commercial partner Richard Goddard, we head up one of those teams.
Okay.
So yeah, quite busy at the moment, which is great.
And you and Richard are responsible for a large sale of people and a large number of turnover within the business.
That's right. It's on a project by project basis, as you'd imagine. As one comes in, the powers to be decide who's going to actually run and bid that job, and then hopefully you win it. And then obviously we're in charge of the delivery team, making sure they've got the resources they need to be able to deliver to the expectations not only of our clients and the consultants, but our own expectations as well. As you know, they're quite high at Overbury.
They are exceptionally high at Overbury, Dave, and actually that's one of the main reasons why we really like working with Overbury.
Sure.
You set your expectations high. You expect a lot from your people. You also look after your people, and from us looking in on a very similar view to the way we try to look after our people.
Yeah,
people
for sure.
are at the very forefront of what you do. Would that be fair?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a big part of our core values. It's about making sure we have the right people working in the right way and empowering them to be themselves and deliver the way they want to deliver within a framework of, as we call it, perfect delivery, which has been, a mainstay and a strap line of the company for, I think, the last 20 years now. So it's something that we all believe in, and it's a bit like over the last couple of days being here with you, and thanks very much for that, by the way, Kieran, and your team here. How you're really trying to make sure your people have the same thought process, the same ethos, delivering the same way with the same purpose. And I think Overbury very much look to do that on every job we set out to build.
Well, that sounds amazing, Dave. And to be honest, thank you for coming and joining us for the last couple of days. It's been a pleasure to have you. It's been a pleasure to showcase our team of people here, our vision for the future, our commitments that we've made to our staff and to the communities here and further afield. So we're just blessed to have people like you here.
No,
and
thank you.
To anyone listening today that would like at some point to come and join us here at Asbestos HQ, where there'll always be something to be learned on both behalves. So I would just open the invitation book. You're very welcome at any point. So kind of moving on.
I'll take them up on that offer if I was you guys.
Thank you. The food's good too.
The food's very good.
Any beers along the way?
No.
No.
Teetotal, of course.
We don't do drinks. That's okay. If there's someone within the industry that if they're listening to this, they'll know, they always keep telling me, Kieran, spend a wee bit more of your social budget. Spend a wee bit more of that on marketing and other parts within the business.
Yeah, well, I think you're hitting a nice balance there, Kieran. So
okay,
thank
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. How has the Overbury company grown and evolved over the years?
Oh wow, it's it's actually my second stint at Overbury.
Okay.
I joined. Must have been 18 years ago. I've done a couple of years. I think my impetus of youth made me move on. But I came back, as I said, 10 years ago, and in that time, PD was in infancy when I was here first time round. But I could see straight away that it was underpinning everything we've done, and we soon realised that delivering a great job wasn't or isn't it's the least that's expected of us. Everybody expects us to deliver a great job, as snag-free as we can with O&Ms and the cornerstones that we purport to. And I think what we realised over the intervening years up to now is that it's the experience now for our customers. We want to make sure that everything we do is geared towards them, to make sure that they get the feeling that we understand what they want and what they need through the project, and not just that joint is absolutely perfect and that bit of joinery is absolutely, in the way it should be. So that's the way it's changed. It's making sure that we as a collective understand what our clients want and need, and we give it to them on a consistent basis, which is the most important thing as well.
Yeah. So I would, from my understanding of it, Dave, is it's not just about the perfect joints and the bits, it's about understanding what the client actually wants.
Absolutely.
And where they're coming from and what they want their space to feel like when we're finished, so we can all get bought into that from day one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You guys excel at that, by the way.
Thank you. We try hard.
Yeah, but you do try hard, but it pays off.
It does. It has done that.
And that's all really coming from that simple mantra of PD, perfect delivery.
And making sure everybody in the business understands what it is and why we're doing it. I think that's important. And I think, for the main, everybody at Overbury does understand that and really strives hard to create that journey.
So that's just the power of a clear vision. A clear vision and a clear message within any company can be built upon, and it just embeds itself within the culture of the business.
For sure.
I suppose, Dave, that brings me on to another question which is quite close to my own heart, and I know it's close to yours. And one of the main purposes of this podcast is what you and the Overbury team and you and your team within Overbury, you do an awful lot for charity, which you're going to touch on in a moment. But I remember one of my first experiences, and Karen, who was with me, got into Overbury's offices, and it was near Easter, and there was just a sea of Easter eggs in reception. And we were like, the same thing is happening back at HQ in Mahara.
Brilliant.
And we asked the receptionist, and she said, yeah, we bring in Easter eggs from the staff supply chain to give to local children's hospitals. And to me, that was a message in itself. That was a kind, caring company, someone you wanted to do business with. And we spent quite a while trying to do that. And there's several examples I could go into that we've noticed over the years.
Sure.
But given that one of the reasons that you're here is because you cost us an absolute fortune for a day's work that you didn't do.
I did a little bit. I've got the pictures to prove it as
You've
well.
got pictures, some great pictures, and you did, Dave, as you do with everything.
Yeah, for sure.
You brought a smile to a lot of people's faces around the business here and on the farm over the last couple of days.
The farm was great. The farm was great.
So, well, it was great to have you, and I hope you come back someday again.
Sure. Project Centre.
But very welcome. First weekend of December on Saturday and Sunday. But going into that, you know, you've been here. We've had the experience. We talked about the Easter eggs and stuff within the Overbury business, and there's many other things that we've noticed over the years. But you've got the Overbury Music Night, and then the big one where we met yourself at was your quiz night, which is run by you, Richard, and
a team of people, within there's about half a dozen of us, but yeah, I mean, for those of you who didn't get to the quiz night last year, and there was a few people there. I think we had 700 people. It grew from a small quiz night on the back of a project for Investec, which turned into 91, and then it moved on to 150 people from a job when we done for Marsh McClellan, and it was Richard really who, to be fair, who turned around and said, Dave, I think we should go a bit bigger next year. And it was, well, how many are you talking to, Richard? 200 maybe? He says, no, 700. Well, it actually turned out to be 500 in the end, and that was at the Connaught Rooms the year before last, which was a great success. And then he wanted to push the boundaries once more. So this year, in February just gone, we had 700 people at the brewery, which was phenomenal. It was a great night. It was supported by, so many people in the industry, both consultants, clients, and obviously you guys, contractors alike. And yes, you spending the money on me for a day, it just shows you how little you get for a lot of money these days. But no, it's something that, it's the brainchild of a few people, and particularly Richard's drive, my commercial partner at Overbury, to actually push the boundaries all the time, and he's done it again this year. We've moved it, or not this year, for next year. Yep. We're moving it to 1,000. We've sold 60-70% of those tables already, so they're going fast. So anybody who's looking for a table at quiz night, little plug right there, get in touch with myself or Richard. But yeah, it's important, mainly because we're able to support 10 charities, and they're 10 charities that are close to our hearts for personal reasons. Yep. And then obviously we offer the other charities out to some of the key sponsors, and we pick 5 more from that. So there's 10 charities that benefit. Next year we're going to push that to 15 charities, because again, we've increased the numbers on the day, and it's just a wonderful thing. We've met with so many of the charities afterwards. We do the big check giving event. And the one thing, and I was saying to Karen earlier on, that we get from these charities is that when people make large donations, they sometimes say you've got to use it here, there, or there. And we just say to them, it's your money, use it as you need for your charity. So it's a great thing that helps them, and they're really thankful for that. Long may it continue. No,
it will continue. And for anybody that hasn't been, and you're in anywhere within the fit-out industry, it's a great night. Excuse me. We were there this year and had the experience. I think the company was there last year with me personally. And just great night's crack, great fun, great place to mingle with others within the industry, a great networking event as well.
Absolutely.
And what better than a networking event under one roof with 1,000 people this year? 1,000 people.
Yeah, it's good. That
will be mad. But it was mad last year with 700, Dave, and I would say it was mad before as well.
Yeah.
But what an opportunity. And the best bit about it is when you attend that night and you sponsor parts of the evening, by being there, there's money going straight to charity. Yeah. So not only are you or your business getting an opportunity, you're helping charity as well. So I don't think we need to promote it, Dave. I think it'll be sold very shortly, sold
Absolutely.
out. But just a phenomenal event.
And as a business, we've become more refined in our social value as well, because it's not just about charity as well. I mean, I've picked up from the couple of days here the well-being side of making sure we look after our people, and I think it all dovetails into one. And we got a social value team that very much encompasses all of this now, and the charity giving, the helping hand we give people, the Easter egg delivery is just simple ways of making sure you engage with your community and do what you can for people less fortunate than ourselves.
Yeah, Dave, I'm in full respect of that.
Yeah.
And I would say that it's not hard to do, but I do believe that we're taking something away from you and your company and the ones in our company that do these things. And the bit in that is that, okay, it looks simple, and it is simple because we all probably do it quite well.
Yeah.
But most people won't put themselves in that position to make it happen. And you're one of the guys that does put yourself in that position to make it happen. You go the extra mile, which will come through in your work ethic, no matter whether it's a charity event, whether it's helping the children with Easter eggs, or whether it's delivering a project. They're all projects to you. So,
absolutely,
you know, I am genuinely speaking from the bottom of my heart. I know how hard these things are to plug through, and how much you depend on a few people to come with you on that journey.
Yeah.
But there has to be an awful feeling of amazement and of achievement, maybe more than anything, achievement when like last year you raised something like $250,000 or something.
Yeah, £267,000 on the quiz night. But again, you know, we get supported by you guys so much. Like, we've done the charity bike ride this year,
yes,
from Belfast down to Cork, which was an amazing ride. But that can't be done without the support and from the supply chain and our families who get behind us, and, you know, making sure that, you know, the charities that we support benefit, which is the most important thing. You know, we put ourselves out. People who've ridden 300 miles in 3 days understand it's not an easy thing to do. You know, people think we've come to Ireland, got some nice weather, we've ridden down the east side down to Cork, and yes, scenery was great, but they're tough days, and you put yourself through it because, you know, as you just said there, you're doing something good. And I think, you know, I've got my personal reasons why I do and support the charities I do, and people who know me know why. And I think that gives me the motivation to make sure I do something to try and make a difference.
Well, I just think it's amazing. And you do make a difference.
Yeah.
Okay? Anyone that... It's all small things. It doesn't have to be big things. All the small things, and you bring them all together, makes a major difference. And you were saying earlier that you don't, when you pick 10 charities, like, you don't pledge the money and say, well, you must do X and Y with it, because you trust them charity partners that they do the best they can. That's not our gig.
That's it.
Theirs is a gig, whether it's looking after cancer, whether it's looking after children or homeless people. That's their speciality. Ours is in delivering projects.
For sure.
It's just amazes me sometimes on the similarities between specialists here and Overbury. Just from a point of view of values, from a point of view of quality standards, from a point of view of more like how we treat our people, what we do for the people in the business and the people outside of the business that we can affect in a positive way. And to me, if we come into this world, and we're all very blessed to be here, and we come into this world and we can make a difference, and there's something that when we leave this world looks a wee bit better than it did whenever we started. Just a small smidgen better.
That's what it's saying.
Will have made a difference.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's about making a difference.
Yeah.
So, Dave, I suppose at Specialist here, we've got a 3-year vision, which we're going to communicate. We've communicated it with our people at this point. It's a bit like when you started off with the PD, say, 20 years ago. So that's a 3-year vision. It's pretty much set in where we're going. But then we've got like a 10-year moonshot of where we at Specialist Group would like to be within the marketplace here in the UK and Ireland and further afield internationally, and what services we would like to provide. But as with any moonshot, it's a bit of a dream at this point, so we can step out the 3 years, but after that. But I suppose my view has always been in life, and I always say this to my children: dream big and think big, and generally if you're focused on that, a lot of them things come true.
For sure.
Where do you see the industry and Overbury within the industry in the next 10 years?
Wow. In the next 10 years, I'll probably be retired. So there is a changing face, I think, to that old guard in fit. A fit out is a concept that started probably 20, 30 years ago, didn't it?
Yeah.
And so like those people that started Fit Out are probably all similar age to myself and maybe a couple of years older, where there's retirement is there, you know. So which goes back to the youth coming through. And I think there was a little presentation you done earlier on, and your dad was talking about how you need to give back and you need to impart your knowledge on the people coming through. And I think that's what we're trying to do. We always try to promote within. We very seldomly go outside of ourselves to fill those spots, as with myself in this role. And I think it's making sure that, you know, if you're going to call it a legacy, that when I do leave, there's 2 or 3 people sitting behind me, and they've got 2 or 3 people sitting behind them who can naturally fill that void when we move on. What does Overbury look like? You know, we continually try to do things consistently. I think ultimately what we do as a product, when we deliver a fit out for anybody, you want to deliver the best quality you can deliver. And that's built on consistency. You know, how you develop consistency is something else, isn't it? It's like, what do you innovate to keep that consistency level high? And I think that's where the youngsters are coming in today. You need to listen to them, their thoughts, you know, how do we work differently? How are we going to do the same thing, but tweak it a little bit that makes it better again, but still deliver that same level of quality that everybody's striving for. So what does it look like? Building industry hasn't changed an awful lot from the time I started 40 years ago. The tools may be a little bit more sophisticated. There's a great one right there behind you. It's probably your dad's first plane.
Yeah, just for the camera.
Yeah,
Dave, we'll present this to you.
But you know, whether it's now an electric planer, there's a guy or a girl behind that plane doing something with their hands to install. So, you know, that's what I love about the building industry. Nothing really changes, but everything changes. And I think the sophistication in what we do has got to a level where, you know, we do it consistently more often. And I think that's where the building construction industry going, is like doing the same things but working cleverer. A bit like you when you showed me around your factory here, and you're putting in these new machines to make things a little bit different but the same and more efficient. You're bringing another quality check in that first half of your factory to make sure that when it moves into that assembly phase, everything's right at that point. And maybe that wasn't there before, as you said, but it's there now, and it's making sure you consistently and always look at doing things better.
So in summary, Dave, the construction industry hasn't changed an awful lot in 40 years, but everything has changed.
It's a kind of contradiction, but yeah.
Yeah, but I get it. Like when I started off as an apprentice here, the breast bar was the screwdriver you pushed down a nut.
Oh, Yankee screwdriver.
Yankee screwdriver.
Yeah, I got one of those.
So have I. And then it became the cordless drill.
Exactly.
Which wasn't trigger sensitive. It was just full power or nothing. But that has developed so much further, and it will continue to develop.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, the key message in all this is that the industry still needs good people. Great people.
For sure.
And if I'm hearing from you correctly, is one of your roles in the next 5 years will hopefully be leaving some of the positive stuff that you've learned throughout your journey in life, more than just business life.
For sure.
With 2 or 3 people behind you that can either fill the gaps within Overbury or within the industry.
Yeah.
And I think, look, the skills shortages that we potentially are going to have over the next 10 years depends on people like you, Dave.
Yeah.
It depends on people that have knowledge and sharing it and nurturing it. Of course, the people we share it with are going to take it in different ways and maybe innovate with it.
Yeah.
And make it better. But they always say you should try to employ people better than yourself. So I've been trying that for a long time and can't find them. But anyway.
I've seen a few people out there today, Kieran.
They're much better than me.
I wouldn't say much better, but there's some great people out there.
Some great people, and that's what it's all about, Dave. I believe people in life everyone's got gifts.
Yeah.
Every child is born today is born with a gift, and it's just a matter about getting them in the right position and giving them the right encouragement to displaying that talent or gift, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I suppose over the next wee while, we're on a sustainability journey. The culture of our companies isn't changing dramatically, but it's a bit more of a focus now on sustainability, and that'll maybe change some of the industry. Labour's becoming a bit of an issue, and skill shortages, but we all as businesses are working towards closing them gaps. And I think potentially, if I was to give my opinion, I think it'll look better in 10 years. There'll be parts of it look different.
And I think we need to shout from the rooftops how great this industry really is. I mean, it gets a bad press now and again, but it's an industry, as I said, 40 odd years in it now, and I've loved every moment of it, and it's gone like that. From the first day I walked onto that site as a 16-year-old to now, it's been everything for me in who I am and what I've achieved, which is fantastic.
Dave, I think at this point we'll try to draw it all to a close.
Yeah,
but good. I would like to say thank you for your openness, thank you for your honesty. There's a message in this for anyone at any level that wants to listen to it, because it's Dave Duffy, it's Kieran O'Hagan, it should be pretty authentic. It is who we are. Hopefully. It's what we do.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if it does one person good or perks somebody up at some point within any day, sure it'll be a wrap. The next place we'll be is in Hollywood, Dave, I think.
Nice, right.
So,
cheers.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, for joining me on the podcast. Thank you for listening in to our Specialist View podcast. And I would ask you to keep tuned in when we'll be interviewing another or maybe two industry legends at the one point. Thank you.